So first, we actually want to design this post. You can call it a post component or a blog post component. Look at this design. First, you need to understand each component, okay, from the avatar to the user profile to the content or maybe the post content to the link, read more, to the emojis that we have here, and of course this right here. And here you can model them in your HTML. One thing about HTML is that if you know how to write your markup correctly, right, you won't have issue with your CSS. If you write your markup wrongly, right, you're going to have more challenges by the time you start styling. But if you are writing your markup with CSS in mind, trust me, by the time you start styling, you're not going to have much issues. Now, at first, I'm going to dissect this into different components. Now we have a card component at first, right, which is acting as a container. Then I can now divide this card into three sections. First, the header, okay, the header which has this avatar and then the user profile, and then of course this X. Then I can say this text right here is the card button or the post button, and then I can say here is the post footer, which has the link and then some emojis there. So quickly, let me show you how I'm going to create this. Okay, so I have the index.html and the style.css. All right, so the blog post, the style.css is empty right now. So we're going to start with the HTML first. So in the body component, again, I'm going to create a section. So the block, for the block, I'm going to use post for the block. So I'm using the BEM methodology. That's a block element and modifier. So far, we haven't seen anywhere we can use our modifier. All right, but then for the block and elements, we have been doing that. So back to the design. So I mentioned that I'm going to subdivide the post into three parts: the header, the body, and then the footer. So I will create a div for that. So right in the section, I'm going to create three divs. Okay, the first one, I will give it a class of post underscore header. The second one, post underscore body, and then the last part, post underscore footer. Great. Now let's now work on the header part, the header section of our card. For the header, right, we can even proceed and divide the header into two parts and say, okay, on the header we have the left part and the right part, right? So more like post header left and then post header right. So I'm going to create two elements inside the header. So in the header, to create two divs, and then the first one I will give it a class post header dash left. Now mind you, I'm using a single dash, not two dashes. Remember, this is not a modifier, this is still another element. Okay, it's another element. So because I don't want to write header left together, because this way it is not readable. So to be more readable, I will just use a single dot. So post header left, and then for the second one, we have post underscore header dash right. Great. So now let's now start writing our now code. Now in the left part of the header, we have this avatar, right? And then this name, the username, and the user role as well. So I can group this username and user role inside the same parent so that it will be more easier for me to get this layout. So what I'm going to do is this will be standalone. This avatar here will stand alone, right? And then there will be another container for this username and user role. So what I'm going to do is I will go to the user left. Yeah, so post header left, post header left, I'm going to create maybe a span, or I can even use a div if I want. A div. I would like to use a span. Let me just go with div, okay, and then R, that's for the avatar, right? Then I'll give this a class name of post underscore avatar. Okay, mind you, we are still in post header left, please. Post header left. So inside the same post header left, I will create a div and then name this post profile. All right, post profile, and then I need an h3 for the username. Rosemary, and then I will give it a class name of post. Oh, there should be underscore here. Okay, so post double underscore username, then the paragraph. She is a content writer. Post double underscore user dash row. Great. Let's see. I mean, at this point, it's just going to be like a normal HTML, nothing serious going on. All right, so let's keep building. The main essence here is that I am writing my markup with CSS in mind. So as I'm creating the markup, creating the container, creating the element, I'm already thinking of how I'm going to create the layout. So this is very, very important, because now that I have created a post header, I know that since I have the post left and post right, I can easily make post header a flex container, and then that's where I can justify content between. So any space that I have will be sharing between the post header left and post header right. Okay, so I think we are done with post header left. So next is the post header right, right? The post header right, which is, so let's make sure we are okay. So post header left starts here, then it ends here. So this is post header right. In post header right, we create a span element. We need the emoji there. Emoji. So to get emoji on Windows, use your window key, the Windows key, and then semicolon. Windows key. Bring up the emoji panel. Then you can search. So I'll just search for X. So I'll use this. I'll use this right here. X. Great. Save. Try it back to the browser and refresh. So I have my X. All right, I have my X. So next up is the body. So body, we only need this paragraph. So I'm just going to copy this right there. Save. So which means we are done with post header, right? We are done with post header. Now next is the post body. So post double underscore body. So in the body, I will create a paragraph, and you can give it a class of post content. If you want, then I will paste the text right here. I think that's that for body. And then finally, we have the footer. Let's work on the footer now. Let's see. Okay, so we have the paragraph, and then for the footer, you can also divide this footer into two. So footer left and then footer right, right? Footer left and footer right. So back. So in the post double underscore footer, right? We're going to have two elements. First one is going to be post double underscore footer left, and then the second element post double underscore footer right. Great. And then for the footer left, what do we have there? We have a link, I guess. So there's a link. Read more link. So pretty straightforward. I will just go to post footer left. Right in there, I will create a anchor tag, right? That's a tag. For the a tag, I don't want the a tag to go to anywhere, so I'll just use the hash symbol and then get the text, read more. Then I can as well give it a class name of post double underscore link. Okay, post double underscore link. And then the next or the last thing we need to do is the footer right, the post footer right. And on the post footer right, we have these two emoji, the art emoji and the reply emoji. So we just, and one thing again I miss out, I did not give this emoji a class. So I would like to give it a class. So two classes actually. First class is going to be post icon. Okay, post icon. Okay, I think post icon should do it. Then if I like, I cannot give it another name like maybe post icon close, post icon dash close. Okay, so probably if I want to give it a special or a unique style, then for the other ones, okay, good. Post footer right, please. Post footer right. The span. So add emoji again. Windows plus semicolon key. Good. I'm just going to search for art. Great. You have the art. Then right here, I will get a class. The class name post double underscore icon. So the same class name as the first icon that we have here, post under double underscore icon. And then the unique class name that we're going to give is going to be post double underscore icon dash art. Then for the second one, which is the replay. So again, Windows key plus semicolon, right? So yeah, I have it here. Just going to select this, then give it a class name. Post double underscore icon, post double underscore icon, reply. And yeah, we are done with the HTML. So let's see the output for the HTML. That's it. That's all. That's all. It's quite simple, especially if you know how to read your design and then keep your CSS in mind as well. So as you are writing your markup, you also have to keep your styling or your styles in mind, so that by the time you start writing your CSS, you're not going to have challenges at all. You're just going to be writing and then styles your elements. So let's jump straight to the CSS. So as usual, I will go to the style.css. Okay, it's linked. Style.css, and then reset all the default styles, all the default browser styles. So universal selector, universal. If you have before all the elements, and after all the elements, if you have any margin, set it to 0. Any default padding, set it to 0. And then box sizing. So you override the default value, which is content box, and then we want border box. The next up, HTML, we want our size to be set to 62.5%, right? I actually want to see, okay, there is a background color on the body. Okay, let's see first. Okay, great, we have this. And then for the background color, I will do that on the body. Background color is this E333. Then I'll please set the height 200 MB first height. Great. Nope. Great. And then what I will do next is I will quickly set the width of the card of that post actually. So this post right here. So the section here, which is the container, it has a class name of post, right? Post. So it's a class post. And then I will set the background color to white, width to I think 400 pixels. Okay, great. So we have this. And I think there is a shadow going on around the box, and then this rounded corner as well. So let's just do that quickly before we move it to the center. So box shadow, zero offset X and Y, 10 pixels blur radius, and then maybe 3 or 5 pixels spread radius. RGBA, so I like using this color because it makes my shadow looks nicer actually. So 0.2, save, and then let's quickly get the rounded corner as well. So for the rounded corner, I can use my rem 1.2, that's 12 pixels for 1.2 rem. So back, we have this. Great. So I think we can now push it to let's bring it to the center so that we can see what is going on. So to the center, you want to do that. So we need to make the immediate parent of this card, that is this post component, a flex container. And if we head back to our document, the parent is obviously the body. So the parent of the section with the class name of post is body. So we have to make body a flex container. And that's, see what, display flex. So to bring the post to the center horizontally, set justify content, justify content to the center, and then vertically to the center, we set align items to the center. Save. If I refresh now, should have it at the center. Great. So I need to pad it. I want to pad it. So to pad it, it has to be the post basically. To pad it, we get 1.8 rem and then maybe 2.4 rem, which means 1.8 rem to the top and bottom, and then 2.4 to the left and right. Save this, refresh, and yeah, we have this. Great. So we can now start looking at what we need to do. Now, first, let's take a look at the header part. The header part, remember we have already create the left and right in our HTML document, right? So which means you can make the post header a flex container, right? I'm going to take it back to the document, index.html. Look at it here. We have the post header. The post header. I actually want to see the closing tag. Why is it not highlighting it for me? Anyways, this is the closing tag for the post header, and the post great. So it has done it for me. So from here to here is the post header, and the direct child elements are the post header left, post header right. So which means if I make post header a flex container, post header left and post header right will become the flex items, which means they will be aligned side by side or horizontally. So let's do that. So post header, or before then, please, what I want to do is I would like to create a space. If you look at it vertically, a vertical gap between the header, body, and obviously the what's it called, the footer, which is one thing we don't have here yet. So you can't really differentiate the header, the body, and the footer. And to do that, we have to make this card a flex container, right? Because that is where we have, because it is the parent to the post header, post body, and the post footer. This post here. flex, save. Let's look at the output first. Yes, so we have them side by side. This. So the header, the body, and then the footer, because this is the default behavior of Flexbox. So if I use gap now, if I say gap, say for instance 2.4 rem, this may be too much, 2.4 rem, and refresh, you see the gap is happening horizontally, but this is not what we want. So the first thing we need to do is to change the direction, override the direction. So first, let me first get rid of the gap. So I'm going to override the flex direction from row to columns, right? Save. So it should take it back, and they should stack on each other. So now if I use gap, the gap now will work vertically. If I say 2.4 rem. So we have this. I feel like 2.4 is too much. I'll reduce it to 1.8. 1.8. Alright, it's not bad. 1.8 rem, great. So I think we'll be able to solve that. Yes, the vertical space. Then next up, let's now work on the header, the post header. So we have the post header, which has two direct child elements. That's post header left and post header right. So post header is going to be a flex container right now. Post header display flex. If I refresh, now great. So you see the post header left and then the post header right. Post header right, we only have this emoji, right? But I actually want the two flex items, that we have in the post header to be aligned to the center vertically. And to achieve that, remember we have the align items. So I will set align items to center. Align. So this close icon or emoji and the other text here should be aligned vertically to the center. If I refresh, great. So you see we have it at the center actually. So right now we have this space, this white space on the post header. So we want to use I would like to push this emoji here to the extreme end, okay, of the post header. So that's where I can use justify content, space between. So space between will push the post header left to the left and then the post header right to the right, basically. So on the flex container, justify content space between. Space between. Great. So we see we have the close emoji now at this end, and then of course this to remain where it is. Okay, I think it's taking shape gradually. So let's now work on the post header left, this avatar, and then of course this profile. So let's take a look at our code. So post header left. Post header left, we have this avatar. Okay, great. And then we have the post profile. And then great. So I will make this post header left a flex container again. And that's because we have two direct child elements, the avatar and the profile. Let me take you back to the design. So if you look at the avatar and the profile, they actually align side by side. So if you have a container, we can make the container a flex container so that if we flex that container, the two elements or the two flex items will be aligned side by side horizontally, and then we can use gap, okay, to create space between them, which is what is going on right here. So the post header left will become a flex container right now, which is this post header left, right? Post header left. Post header left. Post say flex. If I refresh now, great. So I think it's giving me what I want, and then I would like to align it vertically to the center. So to achieve that, we have align items center, align item center, great. Then I can create gap. So the gap now is going to work horizontally because we are not overriding the default value of flex direction. So I want a gap of 6 pixels. So it's going to be 0.8 rem. 0.8 times 10 will give you 8, basically. So yeah, I think we have this. Great. Now we need to work on the avatar itself. So the avatar, let's take a look at our document again. The avatar is post underscore avatar, right? Post underscore avatar. You see how it's now it's more easier for me to style this because I've already considered my CSS right from the point where I was writing the HTML. So post underscore avatar. First thing I will do is to get the background color. I think I use .w, I guess. Yeah, .w, and then the width 50 pixels, height of 50 pixels as well. 50 pixels. All right, and I would like to increase the font size to 1.8 rem. Save. So let's see. All right, so we have this. So next up, we have this perfect square. We need to make it circle, right? So to achieve that, you know what to do. Okay, we need to change the color as well to white. It's black now. Color white. So using hexadecimal code, we have white color. So for the circle, we have the border radius to 50 percentage. So 50 percentage will create a perfect circle. Great. But right now the text is not right inside the what's it called? The circle, because if you look at our final design, we have our R, right, which is the text right at the center, vertically and horizontally. And I think one thing I haven't done is to change the font family to cursive because I use cursive for the font family. So I'm going to change the font family quickly now. And I'll do that on the body elements. So font family cursive. Tutorial shows how to use Google Fonts. Okay, great. So to keep this arrow at the center of the circle, we are going to make that element a flex container. So post avatar is going to be a flex container. And to do that, we set display to flex. Now let me walk us back to the index.html. Look at the post avatar. Post avatar is a single element. Where is it? Okay, good. It's a single element. And then we are making it a flex container. What this means is that R here, R is a text, right? R now becomes the flex item. So we can apply the align items and justify content to the center, and then it will keep that R or the text right in the center of the circle object. So back, I say justify content, center, save. Okay, you see it's at the center horizontally. Now vertically, I need to use align items. Align items, center. Okay, great. So we have it. Align items, center. So let's now work on the profile. Let's work on the profile now. Let's see. I think nothing much. Just to increase the font size. The font size is for the username and the user row, and of course, we need to change the color of the user row. So that I will take it back. Let's see what is the class. Okay, so post username and post user role, post username and post user role. So for post username, I'm going to set the font size to 2 rem, which is equivalent to 20 pixels. Right, then post user role, post, let's call user dash row. I'm going to set the font size to 1.4 rem, and the color to 33. Save. Okay, great. All right, and then now let's work on the footer right. I think it's coming together gradually now. So for footer right, we have the post icon. Post icon, where the post icon? Okay, great. Post double underscore icon, right? Post double underscore icon. So what I'm going to do is the first thing I would like to do is post double underscore icon, right? Now we set the font size to 1.8 rem. So it's going to affect all the emojis that we have, right? This close emoji, the art emoji, and of course the reply emoji to increase because we actually set the class name on them. Post underscore icon. Let me show us. We have post underscore icon on the close emoji. And if you look at the art emoji, we have post double underscore icon as well. And then the replay also has the post double underscore icon on it. So right now, I want to change the color of the close emoji. So I can set it on post underscore icon because it's going to have effects on all the emojis that we have in our design. So that's where I can use the post double underscore icon dash close to set the color, a unique color on the close emoji. So I'm going to say post double underscore icon dash close. Okay, and say color to I think it's B3, B3 I use for that, I guess. Yeah, great. So, and one thing again, I actually want, as you see, the moment I move my mouse on this, on the icon, on the emojis, right, it's giving me this text or field, or a text line. Well, I actually want to change the cursor to pointer. Anytime I move my mouse on it, it should change to pointer. So that's where I will get the style on post icon because I want the effect to take place on all the emojis I have on my design. So I set the cursor to pointer. So there is a property CSS called cursor, and then I can change it to pointer. If I refresh now and then move my mouse, you see it has changed to a pointer. Similarly on the two other emojis, you have it as a pointer. Great. Okay. And then if I take it back to the actual design or the original design, there is actually an over effect going on here. Okay, there's an over effect. As you can see, the color is changing. So what I will do is that I'm going to use the pseudo class over. So post double underscore icon dash close the pseudo over class. First thing, I would like to change the color to A3. And I think there is a text shadow that is going on here as well. Text shadow 00, then the blur of maybe 5 pixels, then RGB. Let's save, refresh. Yeah, exactly. So I believe we are done with the header. Now let's jump to the body. which is not going to take our time at all. So the body, in the body, there is nothing much going on here. There is nothing much going on here. We don't need to even touch the post double underscore body. What we need to work on is the post content. So post content, we increase the font size and of course change the color. So post, maybe I should even create a comment. So right here, on the post body, the post header, we just finished with post header now. We start from here. Post header, great. So post double underscore content. Font size 1.6. Let's see 1.6 first, and then color 5. Yeah, great. Okay, and then I think there is also enough space between the paragraph and the footer, the body and the footer. Okay, I think that's where we are going to use the post body. Yeah, the post body. So we're going to use the post body now because we want to create margin to the bottom. Margin to the bottom of what's it called, the body. Okay, before the post footer. So I'm going to keep it here. We're almost done. So post body, margin bottom 2.4 rem. 2.4 rem. Yeah, great. And so quickly, let's work on the footer. So let's look at the footer again. In the footer, we have two direct child elements, the post footer left and the post footer right. And the first thing I think we need to do is to make post footer a flex container so that we can push the post footer left to the left and then the post footer right to the right by using justify content space between. So first we have this link and then the emojis, right? And all we need to do is to head back to the style. So post footer. X, of course, and then so the first thing I like to do is to always align it vertically to the center using align items. See the output. Yes, and then I can now use justify content space between to push the emojis to the extreme end of that container. Justify content space between, save. Yeah, great. So let's now work on the link. Let's work on the link. Let's first look at now. First, we have the text in our capsulator, right? So we can use text transform, and the other line, the text decoration is not there. The underline is not on the link, and then of course there is this hover effect that is going on whenever you mouse over the link. So let's focus on that, and of course the color as well is the same color as the avatar that we have here. So let's get the class name first. The class name is post link. Yeah, post link. Post double underscore link. So I will like to change the color first to Doja blue, and then text decoration, that's underline, we don't want it. So text decoration none. Let's see. Great. Okay, the font size as well. So font size 1.8, right? So for the capital letter, we need text. Okay, I think there is also a bold effect. It's quite bold. As you can see, it's bold. So we use the font weight property to bold. Great. And then for the uppercase, we have a property called text transform. Text transform. Okay, so you see we have capitalize, lowercase, none, uppercase. So I'll go for uppercase. Save. If I refresh, design uppercase. Why is it too big? It's too big. So I'll reduce the font size to 1.6. That's too big for me. Save. Yeah, this is better, I guess. I think even the font weight is too bold. I don't need the font weight. I will just comment it out. I don't need it. Alright, great. Okay, and then what I will do next is the over effect. Over effect. So we're going to get a darker Dodger blue color for the over effect. So that's sudo over. Set the color to. So I'm going to use a color picker actually. But first I will get this Dodger blue, and then I will get my mouse over the color so that it will bring up the color picker, and then I will get a darker color of that particular color. So I'll just go to this place, and then to change, I don't like, probably I prefer hexadecimal color. So to change this from RGB to hexadecimal, just click on this layer and to change it to hexadecimal color. So that same color in S code is 0660BB. Save this, then if you head back to the browser and refresh, so if I mouse over, yeah, so it's changing basically. It's changing, it's giving me that feel. And then finally, let's now work on these two emojis. Let's see. Okay, red. Change this to red. Then there's space between them. Okay. But then let's see. So that's footer. Post footer right. Post footer right. I'll make it a flex container too. Display flex. So I'll just go ahead and give the gap. Should be gap between them. 1.2. Yes, 1.2 to create gap actually. Great. So I will target the art. I feel like the art emoji needs an increment on its size actually. So that's post icon art. Yes, post icon art. Post icon art. So first color to red. So I would like to use Xcode to red. Okay, that's changed. And then the font size will be 2.4. Make it, yeah, excuse me, and maybe 3.2. 3.2. All right, but then they are not aligned vertically to the center. To do that, we need to target the parent element, which is a flex container, and then set the align items to center. So that should fix it. And this is the parent container. So it's already a flex container. So we can use the align items properties, set value to center, save, and that should do the job for us. Exactly. Yeah, so that's it basically for the blog post component.